In order to create a template like the one shown here, I had to do a little bit of groundwork to figure out to what standards these descriptions belong. So I went through all the state standards, figured out which ones most closely belong to these, and then I create a list of them so that when I go back to my template, I'm able to build it based on these standards ID numbers. Now, we build the template in Aries under standards-based grades, configurations, standards-based report card templates. When you open that up, if you have any previous saved documents, they'll pop up first. I'm going to go ahead and close that out. And I'm going to create a brand new template under 4th grade. And I'm going to click on Create New Template. Over here is where you're going to find the standards that you can then drag in to the template itself. And I'm going to begin at the top under my Common Core Standards. I'm going to choose CME.4 because that's going to be my 4th grade mathematics grade. And if you click on the arrow, it gives you an option of pulling in all of the standards under CME4. That's a great idea, except when you do that, you get a ton of standards that you don't need. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to back out of this for a second, try that again, not save it. I'm going to go to my standards-based grades, configure, option again, and 4th grade, start that over. All right, so CME.4. This is my first standard. I'm going to pull that one into the top, and since I don't want all of the standards under it, I'm going to click No. If I choose to do Remember Me and I click No, it won't give me that pop-up question anymore. It'll just bring in the one standard each time I ask. And then I'm going to go to my next layer, which was a local standard, mh.cm. And if you just put in part of the title, it'll bring up all of the standards that begin with the mh.cm. I like number 1, 2, and 3. And top level standards are going to have some shading to them, and some of the intermediate levels will have shading to them. And that you can, if you right click on those, you can undo the shading or you can put the shading in. You can add in header rows for yourself where you can edit those and put in titles you prefer. You can increase the number of lines that it takes up so that if you have something that's like 2 or 3 lines of text, you can expand that section of the template so that it'll show all the lines of the text within that description. So there's my first few. The next one I'm going to do quickly is going to be CME. Ooh. I can't hide this. 4.OA. Oh, it's a Common Core standard. I frequently do that when I'm playing around with this stuff. I'm going to choose standard 4, 2, and 1. 4, 2, and 1. I see that they're not shaded any weird way. I'll keep that. I'm going to change this now to NBT for number sense base 10. And I'll take that one, 1 and 4. Those look like they're short descriptions. I don't need any extra lines. I have the shading the way I want it, with my title shaded and standards not shaded. And F is for fractions. I'll take that one. 3, 1, 2, and 5. 3, 1, 2. Whoa. I got one I didn't want. 3, 1. So if you get something you don't want, you can right click on it and remove it, and it'll go back into the list. 3, 1, 2, 5. I noticed that this looks like it's been cut off, so I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to add in a couple lines, make sure that it gets to the end of its description. You might check this one here. 2 lines, unneeded, so I'm going to go back to 1 line. And then I'm getting right to the end of it. E2, 1, and 4. Those are all nice and short. And then my last two for this section are coming from my geometry standards. I'll take 1 and 2 and 2. Everything's the way I want it shaded. Oh, I noticed this one is shaded when it's not one of my titles. So I'm going to right click on it and unshade it. And this is creating my template right here. Once you've filled all that in, if you need some spaces to do the next row, like for example, I might add in a header line below, and that's going to add in a blank space. So the very next standard that I pull in will have a space here. You can add spacing to create, to make it look nice, to really work on how the final presentation looks like when you're done. I'm going to remove those since I don't need them. And then I'm going to save my template. When you save your template, you want to give it a title that's going to make sense to you. And I'm going to put grade 4 demo. And portrait is okay. That just tells you whether the form is in portrait or landscape. And right now, landscape is not supported for the standards-based grade report. So we're going to leave it portrait, and grade 4 is what we want. And I'll click save. And then this is now ready to be uploaded, but I probably should check the printing first of all. So I'm going to come to print preview, and I'll maybe include teacher signature and a principal line. If you have multiple languages, you can choose a different language. I only have English at this time. The Spanish translations are coming, and they're actually in the regular grade areas, but not the sandbox. So I'll choose English, and it's going to create a review that I can, a report that I can view. And I can see right now that I've got my explanation of marks at the top, the way I set it up earlier. And then I also have my academic grading available and all of my standards-based grades available right here. That's how you create a template. Once you have the template created, you want to upload that. You want to push that to SBE. If this is the default card that you want to use, then this card, like for example, the default for 4th grade, I would probably put a capital D and then FAULT. Lowercase d didn't seem to work with their system. You want to keep a capital D on that one if this is the 4th grade default. If I were creating another card that's 4th grade also, like let's say 4th grade DME, for San Martin Gwin or whatever, then what I would do is create a different title and then add a card type to show that it's not the default. The default card type is going to be blank, and then that'll take over for all 4th grade report cards. This one is what I said was my grade 4 demo. And I might, since I don't want this to be default, I'm going to go ahead and create a card type of G4 4D. I think you can only use up to 3 letters, but that gives me, that sets this card apart from the others. And I would then click OK, and it'll push it up so that it can then be used as a standards-based report card when it's time to do that. So if I click OK, there it goes. And they'll give you a little note to tell you that you were successful in doing so. That's it.